my apartment in Tuscaloosa, Alabama on Friday, February the 9th, 2018. You can find me on Instagram and Ravelry as at Ladywing Designs. You can private message me on either one of those if you would like to get in contact with me. You can also email me at ladywingdesigns@gmail.com if you so choose. I get all of the notifications for all three of those to my phone, so I'll definitely see it. We have a Ravelry group for this podcast, which you can find by searching Ladywing Crafts Podcast on the Groups tab. There you will find show notes for all of my episodes, any giveaways we're doing, any knit-alongs, and a thread, of course, for other make-alongs happening in the community. Yeah, as always, be sure to go over there, introduce yourself, show us what you're working on, what you're reading, etc. What else did I need to say? Oh, links to the Ravelry group and anything else that I talk about, my project pages, shops, that type of thing, will all be in the description bar below. Okay, so, hi, how are you guys? So, yes, you're getting another episode a week after I said I think I'm going to do every 2 weeks. But then at the end I also said whenever I feel like podcasting, and I'm not sure if I feel like podcasting today or not. We'll see based on how long it takes me to edit this. But yeah, I just checked my mailbox and I have a ton of retail therapy, which I think is why I'm doing this, because go back to episode 2. Remember that really long thing of retail therapy? It's not that much, granted. Oh my gosh, that was a ridiculous amount of yarn to go over. But I don't want it to sit and build up. So, plus I want to show you guys the stuff before I cast any of it on. So, yeah, I hope you guys have been good. I've had a pretty stressful week. I had 3 tests. My brain is fried. I'm glad it's Friday. Like, I'm not much of a drinker, and typically I prefer liquor over like wine and things, but I don't know what I'm gonna drink later, but like I just need something. It's been that long of a week. I'm just done. Like, guys, you have no idea how excited I am that it's Friday. So yeah. Anyway, enough said about that. Oh, another thing that I did want to mention, because I don't really talk, I think I maybe said it in the first episode and I just don't talk about it, but someone asked on Instagram, they were curious about what I'm majoring in, so let it be known, I'm an accounting major and a Spanish minor, and technically I have a specialization in professional accounting, but I haven't started taking the classes for that yet, so yeah, just in case anyone else was wondering, I always just say school. I don't really know if I ever say university. I guess I just assume that you guys know I'm old enough to be in college. I don't know. Anyway, so I have put myself on a time limit, by which I mean I have 57 minutes to get this done because I don't want this to be a really long episode that I have to edit. So with that, we're just going to go ahead and jump in. So yeah, I hope you guys have been good. I hope you've had a good week. Yeah, I recorded on Saturday, so it's been a week. And I think I've got a decent amount of things to show you guys. So let's jump in with some admin. Just quickly reminding you that the spring garment cal is happening in the Ravelry group and on Instagram, of course. Yeah, on Instagram, use the hashtag springgarmentcal, and I'll pop that on the screen so you can see it. Yeah, it ends on April the 30th. Remember to comment in both. First, be sure to become a member of the group, and then remember to chat away in the chatter thread and post your finished objects in the FO thread, and you can have as many FOs as you finish before April 30th. So yeah, I will be drawing prizes from both of those threads. So just remember that. Go participate in that. Let us know what you're working on. etc. Same thing that I say every week, and I will have a link to the chatter thread in the description box below. I'm not sure when I will open, sorry, that was like a run-on sentence. I'm not sure when I'll open the FO thread. I'm not sure, has anyone finished? Like, let me know, guys, comment. Has anyone finished or is close to finishing the object that they're gonna enter for the cow? Because if so, I'll go ahead and open the thread. I don't want you to have to like try to wait until the end and then forget to post it. Yeah, so maybe within the next couple weeks that'll be open. I think that's everything I wanted to say. Oh, yeah, about the spring garment cow. And then the other knit-alongs that I wanted to tell you guys about this week are the first one. There's only two. The first one, oh my gosh, English. So there's the February FAL, F-A-L, which stands for Fringe Along, being hosted by the Mean Girls Knit podcast. And the February Sock Bash has been posted in the Grocery Girls group. So as always, and actually I think those are already linked in the thread. I already linked them. So yeah, just remember that every one of those that I mentioned on here are in the other make-alongs thread in the Ravelry group. Yeah. And remember, if you know of any more that aren't on that list that you think other people might be interested in, remember to comment on that thread and I will add them up there. Because I do watch a lot of podcasts, but there are still a lot that I don't watch that I know other people do. So, yeah, feel free to let me know about those other knit-alongs and I'll add them. So, moving on, I'm not wearing anything handmade today. So I will say this, last week I did mention to you guys that I had tried to do I did an episode in my bedroom, which is where I am today. And I was going to try to do it again so that you guys could see my yarn wall. It's not as impressive today. Okay, so let's start over here. So this is all of my fingering weight that doesn't necessarily like have a project or a plan or anything. So it's all just over here looking beautiful. And you remember last semester I kept buying a ton of stuff. So this was full at one point, and then all the runoff was held here. I have apparently planned enough things to move them into other cubes, or I'm using enough yarn that, which is a good thing, but I've done that, and so this one is now empty. Like, I had enough space over here and I moved stuff over. So that's why that's like an awkward little space. This is kind of the same thing, but it's my worsted weight, and I don't think there's any like fancy worsted weight in there. That's all acrylic, which I love. If you know me and have seen past couple of episodes, you know I have no problem with knitting with acrylic. It's cheap and it still does the job. So this is more worsted weight acrylic. I really don't know why it's here and not in that one. I have no idea. This is where I keep my minis, both for contrast colors on socks, and mostly what it's for is my Cozy Memories blanket. What is that? This, I think, was supposed to be for, so this is a bunch of cotton I have, and then there's like a bunch of super bulky, I can't do this, super bulky right there. Again, acrylic. This is, like I said, some cotton yarn that I got. And I can't do this at all. So there's some Red Heart, which you won't see. If you saw the last episode with my May sweater, that's the yarn that I'm using for that. Those are the other two skeins I have. This is fingering weight. Pretty much most of my stash is fingering weight. Like, the stuff that I really count as like prized possessions is on the top row, if you haven't noticed. But yeah, so this is the cube for yarn that has a plan for it. So I have three sweater quantities. Okay, sorry, I just realized that I have a skein in there that's going to be used for a pair of socks. Never mind. I think I left it there so that I know that that is going to be a pattern. I think that's what I did. Anyway, so this is like stuff that has a plan, and so there's like the rest of my yarn for my Find Your Fade, and like there's a shawl, and like I said, sweater quantities. And then this is the cube for all of my sock yarn, aka yarn that I know will become socks. And like I was saying, I think that's why this skein right here is in that cube and not the sock cube, because it's going to be a patterned sock. Most of those are, or maybe even all of them probably, are just going to be either vanilla socks or like a simple 3x1 rib or something. Yeah, so now that I've wasted 10 of my minutes talking about that, but I did want to show you guys that also because there's a ton of stuff on my couch right now and I didn't feel like moving it because I would have had to just move it back to the couch later, so figured this would be a good time to show you guys yeah, my yarn wall. So okay, so let's jump in. I did admin stuff already, so let's talk about some FOs. My show notes are like not even in order this week, so I had to try to figure out what I was supposed to talk about. So, okay, this is not technically finished, like it's still on my needles, but I'm gonna show it to you. So this is the test knit that I finally got back to. Yeah. I had like the yarn and the needles together, or I had the cord together once the cord was free. Yeah, I needed to just like pick it up, and it was super quick to do. It's kind of a shame that I waited this long, because yeah, anyway, we're not going to talk about it. But yeah, so this is a test knit. This is the Bletchley Park Cowl by, oh, what's her real name? Tamara Moots, or Tamara, I think it's Tamara Moots. So, yeah, let me hold it back here. There you go. So you can see this beautiful cable pattern. And yes, if you're thinking, wow, that's a lot of purling, yes it is, but the cables and like just the general pattern, it keeps it so interesting. Like it's super simple and you just fly through it. This is the second test knit that I've done for her, and the other one that I did was also a cable cowl. I truthfully do not know where it is right now. I don't know. Maybe I'll pop a picture in of it. But I had done another cable cowl test knit for her, and that one too, you know, was a significant amount of purling. But you have, you know, if you really like cables and they're super simple patterns, they really just fly by. So yeah, I'm on the bind off, if you can't tell. This is all that I've bound off, just this little bit. So I still have to finish binding off, weave in my ends, and block it. Actually, I need to do that when I finish recording, because it's almost done. But yeah, I love it. It's kind of coming out discolored, but it's in this red. It's not showing up properly, but anyway, it's a red yarn. This is Patton's Classic Wool DK Superwash in the Claret colorway. Yeah, and I used US size 3, which is a 3.25 millimeter, and I'm using a US 5 3.75 millimeter to bind off. And yeah, I love it. It's awesome. Yeah, really excited for that to be done so that I can wear it. And the other finished object that I have, my ends still aren't woven in, but whatever. So, for the Harry Potter House Cup, Quidditch match 3 just ended, and I really wanted to make sure that I did this one since I missed match 2, and so I did. So I bulked up, meaning that I crafted with, which was part of the prompt, I crafted with super bulky yarn, and I made these really quick wrist warmers for me, because I really needed some, and it's this black tweed, yeah, it's Vanna's Choice tweed. And I got like 5 balls of this on clearance. You guys have seen the hat that I made out of the same yarn, which I think was also for Quidditch last term, actually. Yeah, actually, yes, it was for Quidditch, a Quidditch match last term. So, anyway, but yeah, so I used this. Oh, the colorway is Obsidian, and I just grabbed 2 skeins and held them double. But I totally could have just used 1 skein and like pulled from both ends. Yeah, but I didn't feel like caking it up like to find the other end. So that's that. But yeah, I still have this one, and there's like the same amount left in the other skein that I used, which is right here on top, and then I still have these 2 right here. So I still have a ton of this yarn left. But yeah, what pattern? It was the I know it's Super Chunky Wrist Warmers, but I cannot remember who it's by. It'll be on the screen so you guys can see it. But yeah, so that's that. They're super quick. I guess I'll model one for you guys. I can not get tangled up in my ends here. So, oh gosh, okay. Yeah, so this is what they look like. I mean, they are kind of really holy, but, you know, they'll still keep my hands really warm, so, yeah. And of course, you know, I made these, and we're getting warmer weather this weekend because we're supposed to get a lot of thunderstorms, so that's not helpful. But, yeah, so those are my finished objects. Oh, I used a size N hook for these, which is a 10mm hook. Yeah. So those are my finished objects. So let's keep moving right along with whips, because I think I have every section to show you guys today, so gotta keep moving quickly, and everything has like a good bit to talk about. So this first thing, since I'm holding it up already, I think it's a little darker than what's shown up on screen. I feel like on screen that looks a little more neon-y, and it's not, it's a mustard. But anyway, so I am using, or first let me tell you the background to the story. Let me try to make it short and sweet. Melissa and I got together on Sunday, and we ended up going to a sushi place here in town, and which was awesome because I loved sushi. But yeah, so anyway, we ended up going to a sushi place, and our server like was just fascinated by because you know, of course we were sitting there knitting, and she was just fascinated and was like, oh, well, you know, what's like an estimated cost, you know, if I asked you guys to make a couple hats for me and my friend. And because Melissa was wearing a hat and she really liked the hat that she had on, and we were telling, okay, long story short, we were telling her about, you know, like, you couldn't afford it just because, like, actually paying for the yarn and the time is, you know, really expensive, and most people don't like that. But she came back later and was like, okay, really though, like, you know, around how much would it cost? Because she really wanted to just support and have some hand knit hats. So Melissa and I, we kind of talked it out a little bit while she was still there, and then she gave us her name and number, and we went ahead and got yarn that very same day, actually, like right after that. So, or Melissa got it, and then anyway, I have the yarn. We ended up meeting up again. Anyway, so this is the hat so far, and it totally could have been done. It could have been done already. This could have been a finished object, but we are waiting for her to respond to us. I don't even know if Melissa has finished hers, but we're waiting for her to respond so that we can know how slouchy she wants it, if she wants it slouchy at all. We are using the classic knit hat pattern, and I'm really horrible this week. I don't know who designed that one either, but again, it'll be on screen. So yeah, so I'm knitting, this one is supposed to be for her, because mustard yellow is her favorite color, and it's a beautiful mustard. If she never gets back to us, this is my hat, because that's also my favorite color, so that worked out pretty well. But yeah, so I'm knitting the mustard one for her, and then Melissa also got like a baby blue color, which is supposed to be for her friend, whose birthday was apparently this week. So anyway, but yeah, like we just got acrylic yarn, so you know, worst case, if she doesn't ever talk to us again and she never gets back to us, like Melissa and I conveniently are knitting the colors that we would probably wear anyway, so it's okay. But this is the skein of yarn, and again, it's not necessarily showing up the greatest color, but it's literally just a mustard yellow. And this, oops, upside down. So this is Loops and Thread Impeccable, which is a worsted weight, and yeah, it is 100% acrylic. Been using lots of acrylic weight lately. And the colorway name is Gold. Yeah, so that's happening. I'm knitting these on US 6, so 4mm needles, and I did the ribbing on 3.25 millimeters, which is a US 3. And who is this from? This is from Sugar Tots, my little succulent. I'm pretty sure it's Sugar Tots. My little succulent stitch marker, which I love. I had to use it because the little succulent is like a yellow, and it's got like mustards and oranges over in there, and it matches perfectly. So that's that. Next, so I'm pretty sure I showed this to you guys last time. This was supposed to be what I turned in for Quidditch. I'm using some yarn that I'm ripping out from another project to loom knit a super bulky cowl. And I'm just going to loom knit a really long tube, and then, or not really long, but long enough for me to at least double wrap. Yeah, and then so I'm going to knit a giant tube, and then I'll bind off on here, and then I'm just going to sew the ends together. So, yeah, that's happening. At least I think that that's what's going to happen. I kind of thought about trying to, like, pop it back over, and then, you know, like, join them and kind of do a bind off on here. But I don't really know how that would look. So, for right now, the plan is still to just knit a long tube, and then I'll just take a tapestry needle and weave through, or not weave, but you know, I'll sew the two ends together just by hand. But yeah, so this is how far it's gotten. By the time that I think Monday hit, I think it was Monday or Tuesday, I was like, yeah, there's no way that this is going to happen, because I knew I had tests to study for and class, and just like everything was happening. So now I'm just going to try to use it for a class instead. And you can see that I'm at the end of this skein, and I forgot to grab another one to show you guys, but it's just Lime Brand Hometown USA in the Napa Valley Point colorway. Again, acrylic yarn. Yeah, so that's that. You know, and honestly, like, the way that I do my episodes, if I worked on it since I last talked to you guys, I'm probably going to show it. So, besides my Cozy Memories blanket, I still have those 4 squares that I've added that you guys haven't seen yet, but I've got plans to work on it this month, so you'll see it eventually. So, next project in my blank. Oh, in my Manacori Creations bag. Yeah, I love this. I love this so much. I got the skulls because it reminds me of Dia de los Muertos, which is Day of the Dead. I don't like saying Day of the Dead. It's probably because I'm a Spanish minor. I just prefer saying Dia de los Muertos, so... And it's like the only thing in Spanish that I can say like really fast and sound like I'm fluent. I think I said this before when I got this bag. I talked to you guys about that. Still true. Dia de los Muertos is... Oh, gosh. Okay. If anyone was just paying attention and like understands Spanish, I was like, my brain just switched over. So we're just gonna stop saying it now. Yeah, I almost just switched languages on you guys, and that wouldn't have been good because I don't really know any knitting terminology in Spanish. I might have to, I think I'm gonna have to download one of Hohi's patterns in Spanish one of these times. Like, have the English as backup, like, that sounds like a good plan. I'm gonna have to make that happen now. So anyway, in this bag, I'm holding a new test knit that I think I mentioned before, maybe? I think I did, but I'm not sure. Maybe I didn't. Anyway, so the yarn that I'm using for it is yarn that you guys, if you have watched the first episode, you'll remember this. It's yarn that I bought from a Wild Happy Color. Both of the skeins are from her. And my main color is the Happy colorway. There, you can see it there, Happy. And it's on her Nurture base, which is an 80-10-10 MCN base. And the other colorway is Northern Lights. And this is on her Bedazzled Silver base, which is 84-16 Superwash Merino and Silver Stellina. So that's that. Oh, and if you needed to know how to spell Manicory, there it is. And she's on Etsy. So yeah, so these are the colorways. Okay, I have the blinds open in here because this light, well, one of them has been out for a really long time. And I'm too lazy to get somebody to fix it. Anyway, yeah, but the lights in here aren't very bright compared to the living room. So I used to have like a ton of lights turned on, but I opened the blinds and apparently that's good enough. But now it's just really bright and it's blowing things out. So, sorry, can't do much to help there. But, I mean, this is the gist of this colorway. It's a very neutral base with just a ton of speckles in it. And so it's got blues, purples, oranges, some pinks. That looks like it's a dark pink, but it's kind of verging onto a red. And as always, there is this beautiful neon green that you guys just, it won't pick it up. Yeah, I don't even know if the pictures that I have of it, like, will pick it up, honestly. But it's really pretty in person. Oh, and this is the other colorway that I didn't show you guys. This is, hold on, I'm gonna try it on this side. There we go. That's a little better. It's not gonna show up very well, but, yeah. It's beautiful with the 16% stellina, and, yeah. So this is Northern Lights. And I am loving both of these so far. So this is what I've got. We are back in uterus territory. Every time, I think it was Leslie of the Knit Girls podcast, I think she started a Find Your Fade. I don't think it was a whip, like a languishing whip. I think she just started it. She was working on a Find Your Fade, and she was like, yeah, apparently it looks like a thong. And, like, a lot of people always say this, and I'm just like, I'm sorry, but I can't get past seeing a uterus, like, or, like, a female reproductive system, not necessarily just the uterus, but, like, I mean, I do see the thong. I see it. Anyway. I'm not going to talk about this anymore. So this is what I've got so far of the test knit. And this is the Shoot for Stars pattern by Critium Handmade. And yeah, this is how it's working up so far. I mean, I literally just started this last night, so it's not that much, but I love it. These colors look really good together, and this cashmere is amazing to work with. I think this is the first MCN that I've worked with. No, that's a lie. There's some MCN in my exploration station, but that was last summer and I don't remember that. But yeah, so anyway, that's how this test knit is going. Okay, I gotta hurry because I have 30 minutes and I still have to get through the rest of my whips. So that's that project. Sorry guys, there's yarn everywhere and now my nose is really itchy. So, this is another whip. This always happens and I just never understand. Okay, there we go. So I'm using the other skein ball. Would it be a ball of yarn? I think this is a ball. Anyway, using the other ball of yarn that Melissa gave me, or one of them. This is the other skein of Felice. That's what I'm trying to say. It's the other skein of Knit Picks Felice in the Sunset colorway. So you remember I just finished a pair of socks out of the other ball for me. And this one I'm using for Melissa for some shorties. And so this is where I am. Yeah. So I'm really excited about this. Yeah, I'm gonna get to use a new technique because she has to use, or I think she usually uses Mina's mini heel flap adjustment. Mina of the Knitting Expat. She uses that because she has a really wide instep, and so yeah, so I'm gonna get to use that on hers, and I'm pretty excited about it. But yeah, so here's where I am so far, and my little stitch marker is one that I got from Quirky Monday Crafts. She sent them to me. So yeah, and they match perfectly because they've got little red beads on them. But yeah, this is where I am. It's just going to be plain vanilla socks, and she's getting shorties. But yeah, that's that. So the last whip, kind of an exciting thing. I mean, I think it is. Are you gonna think it's exciting? I don't know, and frankly don't care, but anyway, hopefully you will. Yeah, so if you paid attention to my Instagram posts last night, I had two. The first one was about Instant Knit Night, and the second one was about me spinning. So, I don't know if I don't think I've ever actually talked about it on the podcast. Way back when Melissa first gave me this spindle and the fiber, I posted on Instagram saying, you know, oh, like, watch this space, there's going to be spinning at some point. But last semester, it wasn't the right time. Like, I wasn't really feeling it, and it wasn't clicking with me, and it just wasn't the right time for me to try to spin. So, or to try to, you know, learn how to spin. So, now it is. I have really been motivated by a lot of podcasters that I watch that spin. Like, and what's motivating me, which is my new goal, right now, I want to be good enough, like, within the next year and a half or a year, like, I really want, or not a year, within the next year and a half, 2 years, I really want to get good enough to where I can get a spinning wheel. Hopefully it happens before 2 years, like, that's a long time. But, yeah, I really want a spinning wheel. I just feel like it would be a lot easier, you know, I don't have to hold my arms up and keep spinning this thing, and yeah, no, it'll be a lot easier. I can just sit, move my feet, move my hands, and like, I just feel like I'll be able to be more productive, by which I mean pay my boyfriend some attention. Yeah, so anyway, where was I going with that? Yeah, so that, but then also everyone's been using their hand spun. Melissa's been trying to use more of hers lately, and other podcasters have been like talking about their hand spun, you know, using it and everything. And yeah, for right now, I really just want some hand spun so that I can make like hats and just like simple little things. I'm not really trying to like spin for anything extravagant like shawls or anything. That's not really where I'm at right now. But yeah, so this is what I've got so far, and there's like this big yellow section under it that Melissa had started spinning, and it's super thin. But yeah, so I just started, you know, spinning back and wrapping it on top of that. So right now, we are doing kind of a little test for me. So hold on, I'll show you guys the fiber. So this is the braid. Don't ask me who it's from. I do know that it's BFL. I think it's I think it's just 100% BFL. I don't know where she got it. She told me, I can't remember. But yeah, so this was just some fiber that she had, and she went ahead and gave it to me so I could learn how to spin with it, since it has a long staple and it's good for beginners. So yeah, and I love it. This is so up my alley. That beautiful yellow, and it's got a couple shades of blue, and then like that brown. It's really pretty. So I'm super excited. I'm glad that this was the one she gave me. So anyway, so we tore off a chunk. This is like where we tore it off. It was like 0.7 ounces, and or I did. She kind of taught me a few things over VKN. So just a personal one between us. But anyway, so we tore off a little chunk of it, almost an ounce, and then I split it because I've discovered that I prefer to pre-draft, which is why I'll tell you that in a second. But anyway, so yeah, so this is how long the piece was that I like took off of there. And then so this is half of it. So I tore a chunk off of there and then split it in half. This is the other half of it that has not been spun yet. So then the other half, which I'm going to do the same thing with this half too. So the other half, I split that in half and then split those halves in half again. So that is effectively what? Eighths? Yeah, so I split it into eighths. And then I pre-drafted those eighths, and then I spun them up. So this is just going to be a little test for me to just kind of get the hang of it, and try to figure out, you know, what I need to do, because I'm going to practice plying with these. So this is one of the plies, and later today, or sometime, maybe not today, but sometime this weekend, I'm going to conjure up a Lazy Kate so that I can wind this off onto a roll of toilet paper that I am waiting for it to be empty because it's like almost done, but it's not yet. And like I have a paper towel roll, which I totally could cut, but I don't want to because I was going to try to rig up something to block my cowls. Anyway, so although now that I think of it, anyway, somehow this will be rolled off onto something else, whether it be half of that paper towel roll or toilet tissue roll. But yeah, so I'm going to wind this off, and then I'm going to spin up this other part. And I had this little chunk that I somehow it ran from me. It was like under the couch or something the other night. And so, yeah, so I'm going to spin this as my other ply. And then, yeah, so that's happening. So hopefully the next time that I see you guys, maybe I'll be done spinning the plies. That would be really great. Like once I got the hang of it and like really got a feel for the drafting and like all of that and like the draft, like, cause I'm doing the park and draft method. And so once I like really got a hang of that, like I flew. Like me and Melissa got off and I still had 1, 2, 3. I think I had like 3.5 of the like eighths that I had split up. Still had like 3.5 of those. And I think I finished it within like 30 minutes. Because one of the things that I was also really worried about was joining. Like, you know, when you get to the end of the fiber and then you have to join the next one. Guys, Melissa is a great teacher. Yeah, so that really helped. It really clicked with me last night when we were doing it though. And so I'm really happy with what I'm getting now. I forgot to bring it in here, but everything from before this, I like wound it off. I just took it off and it's just sitting there. I'm gonna get like a clear box or something, and I want to sit it on my headboard because it matches the blue and like the yellow themes in my room. And so yeah, I'll pop a picture in of what it looks like because like I said, I posted it on Instagram after I'd taken it off the spindle. So that's happening. Yeah, so I'm not going to have, at least for now, because I'm not doing a ton of spinning, I'm not going to have like, oh, this is my spinning section. It's just going to go with whips or finished objects or whatever. Yeah, so that's that. And I'm going to move this. Sorry for the crinkling. So with 20 minutes left, let's jump into some Cravin It. So, first thing, is that what I want to talk about? Yeah, so 2 designs by the same people, Cozy Up Designs, which are the Cozy Up Sisters, Cozy Up with the Stitchin' Sisters, who they have a podcast. I pretty much mention them every week. I'm not going to blather on about them right now, because you guys know I love them. They're amazing. Anyway, check out their podcast if you haven't. Also check out their designs. They're the ones that designed the My Sister Shawl MCAL. And so if you do follow along with them or just notice on social media or whatever, so my brain is working in semesters because I'm in school, and I don't remember exactly what month it was, but it was sometime at the, towards the end of last year. Not necessarily December, but it was towards the end of last year. They released the Jamie shawl. And I couldn't decide if I wanted to do it in DK or worsted. So, okay, I never was against doing the Jamie shawl, but I was like, I'll just pass on this one because there are other things that, I really, really want to do right now. And then a few episodes ago, they were talking about how, which they do, they talked about it again on their recent episode. They did the My Sister shawl. There's already a Jamie shawl. The Katie shawl will come out next week. Sarah is working on her Sarah shawl, and Jamie has now started working on the Chrissy shawl. AKA, they're doing one for the whole, family. And I think that they were joking, I think, at some point about doing, a Hank Skeen hat for their dad, and maybe we'll get a JoJo shawl, because I think that would be pretty cool. Let's just do one for the whole family, But anyway, I'm all about stuff like that. So, now I need to catch back up because I still haven't done the Jamie shawl. Katie shawl comes out next week. Yeah. So anyway, this is the yarn that I'm using for the hat. I'm going to go back to Michael's. I'm going to use whatever is left of this, but I'm going to go back to Michael's and get more. This is my favorite color, and it's beautiful, and it's worsted weight, and therefore, because before I also couldn't decide if I wanted to do the DK version or the worsted version of the Jamie shawl. I am doing it with worsted, and I'm going to use this beautiful gold color because this is my color. And when I was watching their podcast last night, they were mentioning how they had seen some of the, I think they were talking about the Jamie shawls. Maybe they weren't. I think they were talking about Jamie shawls and how people had, they were just talking in general about people putting tassels on shawls. I am not a tassels person. In general, I do not like tassels and fringe. I do think that they look really good on some projects, but it's just not my thing. I think I'm going to put tassels on my Jamie shawl. Because when they said that, and I pictured it in my head, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's gorgeous. I just think that perfect triangular shape, I just think the tassels would look really good on that. So my Jamie shawl will probably have tassels. If anyone wants to do those for me, let me know, because I want them. I don't want to make them. So I've done them before. It's not that difficult. I'm just lazy. But yeah, so I'm going to use this beautiful gold for my Jamie shawl. And like I said, they said on their podcast that they had planned to release the Katie shawl on Valentine's Day. And they said that it is, it's still on time. They don't think they'll have to push it back. So last night when they mentioned, because, people are, they're working on samples and stuff for it. So when they were talking about it, I was like, oh yeah, okay, since, Jamie thinks it's definitely going to be coming out on time, I need to go, I'm just going to go look at my stash. I do not have a lot of solid skeins, and I really wanted to have a solid color. I don't know which one is going to be the main and which one's going to be contrast. I need to, look at a full picture of the shawl and how the colors play out before I decide that. But just magically, I happened to find my colors, and I do mean magic. Like, I have no idea how this happened. So I saw this color. This is a solid. Again, I'm sorry, everything's blowing out between the really bad light and the sunlight. It's just, yeah. So if this is the only time that you guys see me podcast in here, that's why. I'm just gonna go back to doing it in the living room because the light's better. At least you got to see my stash. But anyway, so this is really blowing out. It looks like a gold, and it's not. It's a brown. Yeah, so I'm never going to podcast in here again, guys. Anyway, this is a really beautiful brown that I got from Rita Mae Yarn sometime last semester. This is on her Sweet Pea Sock base, which is 75/25 superwash merino nylon, and the colorway is fawn. So yeah, no, it's still blowing out, but that is closer to what it actually, that might not be blowing out. It's not blowing out too much there. It's just a really beautiful brown. So I picked that up, and I was like, awesome, you know, this is a cute solid that would look good, but you know, what in the world do I possibly have to go with it? And then as I was about to just give up and say, you know, I'll figure it out later, I'll search for something or whatever, I went back, or I looked down. I was straightening up my skeins because they had been like pushed back in the cube and stuff, and so I was pulling them back forward and straightening them up, and then I just happened to see, I don't know which end it was. It was this end. I just happened to see this like sticking out, right? And I was like, huh. Like, not like, oh, this could go with that other skein, but just kind of curious. I was like, what is that? Because I have so much, and I got most of it, like, all at the same time, and so I don't always remember what everything is. So this is the burrow that I got from Teeny Button Studio when me and Melissa ordered that Weasley sweater colorway, Weasley Christmas jumper that we did for the December Harry Potter Club. I also ordered the burrow, which is one of her Harry Potter colorways. This is on soft sock, which, yeah, 75/25. Anyway, so I just saw it, and I was like, oh yeah, I forgot that. Not really sure how it ended up on the bottom. I don't know. But anyway, so I saw it, and I was like, man, this is really pretty. And then, you know, just, well, let's see if it matches. It wouldn't hurt. I know that this is blowing out, and, like, you can't. That's a little closer, not really. But, guys, they look beautiful together. This is my Katie shawl. Like, yeah. When I held them together, and I literally was just like, oh my gosh, this has to happen. So, yeah. That's going to be my Katie shawl. So, yeah. Just happenstance. I now at least know what yarns I'm doing for both of those projects. So, I'm going to try to get them done so that I'm going to try to, like, kind of I need to catch up. I'll be catching up with Jamie, but I'm going to try to knit Katie, like, kind of while everyone else is, like, really knitting their Katie shawls. Because I know Sarah's is probably going to be the next one that's ready. Well, I say that, but the Chrissy shawl could also be next. I don't know. But the next one that comes out, I want to be ready and, like, done with these. So, knit in the family, guys. And the only other thing that I had for Cravin It is the Wonder Woman wrap, which I'm sure everyone has seen. I cannot remember the designer. It'll be on the screen. So there is a knit version and a crochet version. Funny enough, I wanted to do the crochet version. I think part of it is because I have a really hard time getting gauge when I knit because I'm such a loose knitter, but in general, when I crochet, it's usually a little easier for me to get gauge. Of course, usually I'm using more, like, worsted DK weights. So, yeah, I'm gonna see. But yeah, so my yarn got here today that that I'm gonna use for it. So I probably already popped in a picture of the crochet version of the Wonder Woman wrap, and it looks the exact same as the knit one. It's just crocheted. So I really want to do the crochet version, and I bought my yarn for it. So, okay, let me prelude this by saying Melissa helped me pick out what gold I want, and I already knew that I was going to get a red that I already had, which I'll show you in a second. And they look gorgeous together. Like, don't get me wrong, they look gorgeous, and I love it, and I'm definitely ready. But I don't know what I was on, but somehow, I can't remember if it was Instagram or if it was like the little ads that are at the bottom on Ravelry. But somehow I ended up on Nerd Girl Yarn, on her site for Nerd Girl Yarns. First of all, I love her stuff because from the colorways and like the inspiration, she's totally a nerd, and I love that. I love people that do that kind of stuff. But she has a red colorway named Diana. She has a gold colorway, and both of these are like the perfect red and gold for Wonder Woman, right? And the gold is named Golden Lasso. Guess when I found it? Like 2 days after I had ordered both of these. And again, I'm not saying that these two yarns are like not worth it and that I don't want them anymore. I'm just really frustrated because the whole time I'd been like, I really want like this perfect gold, and like I wanted to match this red, because I was even saying, because I knew from the beginning that I wanted the red that I have, but I was like, actually it would be really nice if I could have like a deep, like beautiful red. Anyway, so that won't happen because I'm not about to buy another red and gold skein, like mostly because I'm about to go back on a yarn diet. I've spent way too much money lately. Anyway, so these are the yarns that I'm using for my Wonder Woman wrap, and I'm so excited. So I will show this one first because this is the only skein I got from her, which was really good. I'm so proud of myself. So I ordered another skein of Rita Mae yarns in her crimson colorway. And this is, actually I'm not sure what base. Okay, so the tag says that it's 80/20, but it looks like, I think the tag is just wrong because this looks like her Sweet Pea sock. Yeah, so I think the tag is just wrong. But anyway, so, yeah, I got another skein of her crimson colorway, and if you've been watching the last few episodes when I show, my Walking with Elephants cowl, this is the red that I'm using for that. Yeah, but I love this red, and so I knew that, and I love this yarn, and so I love her yarn so much. So I knew that, that I wanted this red, and, that's the wrong skein. Yeah, so I'm really excited, guys, and it's a crochet project, so I might even start it sometime soon, maybe, possibly, I don't know. I have a lot of shawls planned, like more than I thought that I would want it, so yeah, that's gonna happen. So I got, also, I don't think I said this, but it probably popped across the screen, we're totally in retail therapy now, so, and this is gonna be really quick, because it's kind of a lot, but not too much. So I got that red for the purpose of the Wonder Woman wrap, and like I said, I got this gold also for that purpose, and I love this gold because it's definitely a tonal. There's some dark points, there's some light points. It looks like there's little speckles of like red, and there's a green speckle right there. Like, there are just tiny, tiny, tiny blips of reds in here, and like I said, that one green, yeah, that one green right there. But yeah, it's beautiful. This is a really pretty gold. So I got this from Conjure Hand-Dyed Yarn, and she is an Etsy shop. Oh, there's her website right there. conjureyarns.etsy.com. So I got this from her Etsy shop, and this is her 7525 4-ply sock in the colorway Gold Dust. So yeah, I'm really excited. This is really soft yarn, and it's, like I said, it's a beautiful tonal. So why I ended up in her shop in the first place, though, was because I saw on Instagram, and I can't remember if it was someone else using her yarn or if it was like her posting about the yarn. But I saw her Wolf in the Heather colorway. You're gonna show up? No? No? Alright, whatever. So, anyway, this is her Wolf in the Heather colorway. Guys, oh my goodness. You guys know I'm not like a super big fan of neutrals, but this is beautiful. And I want to say it's like a self-striping kind of action. I can't remember because I haven't looked at it worked up in a long time, but I'm pretty sure I'm looking at the hank now, and it looks like it may be a little bit of a self-striping action. I don't know. It could also just be, no, I lied. I think it's just more of a variegate. I can't remember. Don't make me lie to you. Anyway, so again, Conjure Yarns, her 4-ply sock, and there's the name of the colorway, Wolf in the Heather. So yeah, so I got the gold, I got that, and then I also saw her skull stitch markers, and I got the one with red beads, because of course. So yeah, I got that. Super excited. And she also sent along some Tazo tea. So there's that. Okay, so the last thing that I have to show for you, and I'll run over my limit, my time limit just a little bit. I've got like 3 minutes. But anyway, so the last thing that I have to show you is a ton of stitch markers that I got for me and Melissa. Also off Etsy. A crafter's worst nightmare is going on Etsy and seeing things you like, I swear. Anyway, so I got it from the shop Crochet 1 Knit 2, and there's her Etsy and her Instagram information. So, yeah, I think I know what all of these are. Okay, so now some of these I got for me, and some of these I got for Melissa, and quite frankly, I can't remember all of which ones are specifically. I mean, I do notice which ones are for her, but anyway, we got a couple sets, and I don't know if each of us is just getting one of the sets or if we're splitting the sets. I'm not sure. So anyway, so this down here we got some Deathly Hollows, Progress Keepers. I think we both already have stitch markers. Yeah, so these are Progress Keepers. This one has a blue bead for Ravenclaw. That's Melissa's. Because, of course, even though I'm a Ravenclaw, I had to get a green bead because everyone knows that I moreover identify with Slytherin because of the House Cup. This is, I'm not really sure exactly what this is. It's just this cute little stitch marker with some glittery bits over in there. It's like a blue, green, sparkly kind of deal. But that one's Melissa's. And then, okay, sorry, I'm trying to like get to a good spot where I can see what's going on. So this is a little manatee, that is Melissa's. This is a little Harry Potter set of stitch markers. There's a train, a time turner, an envelope for a letter, and Hagrid's motorcycle. And this is an Alice in Wonderland set. There's a stopwatch, a little house, the mushroom, I think those are playing cards, and is that a hookah? Sorry guys, I just need to know what this is because I don't remember. I don't really know. I'm not exactly sure what that's supposed to be. Like, if it's just, it looks like it's just a container of some kind. But if you've ever read the original Alice in Wonderland, because you know in the Disney movies and everything, the caterpillar, I can't remember his name right now. The caterpillar smokes a pipe in the movies. I've read the original book, it was for a class, and in the original book, when Alice meets him, he's sitting on a mushroom smoking hookah. So, yeah. Just very confused. There's also a flamingo in here. But yeah, I'm just curious as to what that's supposed to be. I'm not promoting one way or the other, I just don't know what it's supposed to be. Anyway, yeah, so me and Melissa might split those sets between us, or we might just say you take this set and I take this set. Don't think that's gonna happen though, because we both love Alice in Wonderland and we both love Harry Potter. Yeah, so anyway. And then this one at the top is Melissa's. It is Doctor Who inspired. All I'm going to say is I do know what it's called. I cannot think of it right now. I've been trying since right before I podcasted. I cannot think of... I could probably tell you it's probably on here. There we go. Sonic Screwdriver. I couldn't think of what it was called. I just thought to look at the paper. I couldn't think of what it was called. My brother went through a Doctor Who phase, and he actually, like, got one of the toys for, like, the Sonic Screwdriver. So, like, I totally knew what it was. Like, I recognized it, but I couldn't think of what it was called. But anyway, yeah, so she got a little Sonic Screwdriver stitch marker. Or progress keeper. Yeah. The only stitch markers that are in here are the Alice in Wonderland set. Everything else is progress keeper. But, okay, so I'm officially over my time limit by like 2 minutes. But I did pretty good. I showed you everything I need to show you. Yeah, that's pretty much all I have. Just an update. I know last episode I mentioned I'm going to look into some dates for a live stream. I think that what's going to happen, I don't think I'm going to do a poll for you guys. I think that me and Melissa are just going to plan around our schedules because that's already kind of hectic enough lately. Yeah, so maybe within the next couple of episodes I will be able to get you guys a date for when we're going to do that. So yeah, I guess just like get some questions ready. I really want to do this more of a way for me to directly talk with you guys, kind of like at the same time. And this will be it'll be like a Suedo episode. Me and Melissa totally will show FOs, whips, you know, retail therapy, that type of thing. Like it'll definitely have those parts in it. It might not be as structured, kind of like the last one where it was more of us just kind of like blabbing as we go through things. But yeah, and it will probably be more of a longer episode because when me and Melissa get together, we can stay together for hours and like talk and knit and stuff. So it won't be like forever, but you know, it'll probably be around 2 hours. Plus, I really want you guys to have a chance to kind of do a little Q&A for me, and I'm sure Melissa will be okay with, you know, you guys asking her some questions too. But yeah, like I said, I'm not really big on like ask me anything threads because then I feel like I have to answer them on the podcast, and yeah. I am on Ravelry all the time. Like, even if I didn't put them on the podcast, I totally could open a thread and respond to you guys there. But then I feel like that just doesn't seem right to not, like, read them on the podcast. And I'm not really a big fan of those sections. So I think this will be fun. You know, every once in a while I can do a live episode and, or even just have, like, a knit night. You know, like, we don't even have to do an episode. So that might be, like, this next one will probably be an episode because we'll definitely have stuff to show you guys. And Melissa just left today to go on a trip. So hopefully she will have some good stories and she'll bring back some yarn. So, and not necessarily for me, I meant like to show us. But if she does bring me something back, I will not turn her down. But yeah, so anyway, go me for getting this done in basically an hour. Yeah, but now I'm gonna sign off. I'm gonna go ahead and sign off because I have homework that I need to turn in. I have a quiz to do, and I want to get some knitting done, and I need to decide which alcoholic beverage I'm drinking tonight. So, yeah. So until next time, it might be next week. It might be 2 weeks from now. Whenever I feel like podcasting, I'll see you again. So I hope you guys have a great week or 2 weeks. Yeah. Hit me up on social media. I'm sure I'll be posting a ton. So, yeah. Happy crafting, guys. Bye.